All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so today we're tackling something I know you've all been hearing about, right?
Yeah.
This whole no poo movement,
Yeah.
ditching shampoo,
Right?
letting your hair clean itself.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of crazy.
It does. A little bit.
Right. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
tempting, like less time in the shower, maybe save some money on all those products.
Maybe help the environment, use less plastic bottles.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the other side of me is like, wait, is this actually legit? Or is shampoo just, getting a bad rap these days? So, to help us sort through all of this, we've got an article here from The Guardian, and they talked to an expert trichologist, which for anyone who doesn't know is basically a scalp and hair specialist.
A hair doctor.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to break down this whole shampoo debate, get into the science of how our hair actually works, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll know exactly what's best for your own, lovely locks. Okay, so first things first. This article actually claims that shampoo is a scam.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
But I can see why the no poo movement is gaining traction.
Totally.
Right.
Right. Like I was saying earlier, there are all those articles, floating around online about people who stop shampooing and their hair looks amazing, right? Like shiny, healthy, full of life. So what's the secret?
Okay. Well, when you first stop using shampoo, there's the sort of honeymoon period. Your scalp naturally produces oils, we call it sebum. And when you're constantly washing it away, it can actually overproduce to compensate. So when you stop, you might see this initial surge of shine and softness because the sebum is finally able to do its thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Coat the hair.
Okay. But if we're being honest, not washing your hair for weeks or months, I'm picturing
Right.
like a greasy kind of situation.
Yeah. And it's not just about the look, right? Your scalp is skin, and like any skin, it needs to be cleansed. Think about it. If you never washed, say, your armpits, things would get pretty funky.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's the same with your scalp. Buildup of oil, dead skin cells, sweat, all that stuff, it can actually clog your pores, lead to irritation, even fungal infections.
Okay, ew. That's not what we want.
Yeah.
So we've established that shampoo isn't totally evil,
Right.
but what about all those harsh chemicals and stuff that everyone's always warning about? Should we be worried about those?
Absolutely. It's not just about whether you use shampoo, it's about what kind of shampoo you're using. Some shampoos are definitely harsher than others, and they can strip your hair of its natural oils, leaving it dry, brittle, damaged.
Okay, so what are the main culprits? What should we be watching out for on those ingredient lists?
Well, one of the big ones is sulfates. They're detergents, and they're super effective at, creating that rich lather and getting rid of dirt and grime. But they can also be very harsh, especially in high concentrations. And then you've got fragrances, which can be irritating. And a lot of those synthetic colors and preservatives, they might make the product look and smell nice, but they don't actually do anything for your hair's health.
All right. So how do we know which shampoos are the good ones? What should we be looking for?
A good shampoo is all about balance. You want something that cleanses effectively but gently. Look for milder surfactants and ingredients that nourish and support your scalp. Things like natural oils, plant extracts, maybe even prebiotics and probiotics.
Oh, prebiotics for your scalp. That's interesting. Speaking of, you mentioned the scalp microbiome earlier.
Right.
Can you tell us a little more about that? Because it seems like the microbiome is having a moment, right? Like you hear about it in relation to our gut health.
Yeah, right.
But what exactly is the scalp microbiome? And why is it so important for healthy hair?
Okay, so the scalp microbiome is this whole community of bacteria, fungi, all sorts of microorganisms that live on your scalp. And just like the gut microbiome, it plays a really important role in maintaining a healthy balance. It helps to regulate oil production, protect against inflammation, even promote hair growth.
Wow. I had no idea it was so complex. So if we're thinking about this whole shampoo debate, how does our shampooing routine affect this delicate little ecosystem on our heads?
Well, like I was saying before, those harsh shampoos, if you're using them too often, they can disrupt the balance of the scalp microbiome. You can end up stripping away too many of the good bacteria, which can lead to dryness, irritation, even dandruff. And on the flip side, if you're not washing enough, you can get an overgrowth of certain bacteria, which can also lead to problems.
Okay, so it's all about finding that happy medium.
Yeah.
So where does this no poo thing fit in?
Mm-hmm.
Is it ever actually a good idea to ditch shampoo altogether?
It's tricky. I mean, there are definitely some people who might benefit from reducing their shampoo use. Like if you have really dry hair or a sensitive scalp, cutting back could help. but it's important to do it gradually and pay attention to how your scalp responds.
Okay, so listen to your body.
Exactly.
Because there's no, like, one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
Everyone's different.
Exactly. What works for one person might be a disaster for someone else.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, well, this has been so interesting. It seems like the main takeaway here is to just be more mindful, right?
Yeah.
About our hair care routine, the ingredients we're using, and maybe this whole no poo movement, even if we're not all going totally shampoo free, it's making us, stop and think about how we treat our hair.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for diving deep with us today. This has been really, really insightful.
My pleasure.
And for all of you listening, we want to know your thoughts. Have you tried the no poo method? What's your shampoo routine? Hit us up on social media. Let's keep this conversation going. And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.